Hey, I don't know about you guys, but I am so excited about the Saints this year. Now, I know we won the Super Bowl last year and there's all the excitement, but man, I can't wait for the kickoff game this year against the Minnesota Vikings. They think they're going to come back into the Superdome and beat us. Man, it just conjures up all the emotions and the memories from the game when they won the NFC Championship game to send us into the Super Bowl and the field goal and overtime. And just thinking about that game, it brings me back to a quote that I heard Coach Sean Payton tell Garrett Hartley right before this 23-year-old young man, for a kid, was going to walk out in front of 70,000 people, the weight of a whole city or region on his shoulder, millions of people from all across the world watching him. And this is what he said. Sean Payton quietly grabbed him and he said, "Hey, go hit your kick. And here's why. You deserve to be here, son." Wow. Talking about somebody instilling confidence in you. And as you guys know the rest of the story, Garrett Hartley walked out there, kicked the most perfect field goal right down the middle, sent the Saints to the Super Bowl. I don't know if he'll ever miss another kick again after kicking under that kind of pressure. I want to take a few moments today and talk to you guys about the importance of leading with confidence. You see, what leadership is it's stewarding the influence that God has given us. And as a steward of God's influence, we can live with a type of confidence it's not our own. But we gain our confidence because of what God has given us. Just like Sean Payton instilled that confidence in Garrett Hartley, God speaks those same type of things to us, and that needs to instill that confidence within us. You see, when you're leading others, it is our job to take the confidence God's placed in us and instill that same confidence in them, and to call them to the purpose that God has really called them to. Now, I understand that can be kind of challenging at sometimes because as leaders, what God wants us to do is challenge them to step out of their comfort zone, to be stretched, to do things they never thought they could do in order to fulfill the purpose that God has called them to. Now, this is as leaders what we face, okay? And I know it because I've been there and I face these challenges all the time. You're going to hear yourself say, well, man, how are they going to respond when I challenge them? Are they still going to like me after I challenge them? But really the questions need to not be all about how are they going to respond to us. The real questions need to be this, okay? What has God called me to do? What is the influence that God has given me? How has He called me to lead? And even more importantly than that, what is this person that I'm leading, what do they need in order to help fulfill the purpose that God has called them to? So, now I know that's difficult, but God has called us to lead with confidence and to lead with courage. Now, remember this, courage is not leading without fear, okay? But it's actually leading in the face of fear. I love what 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7 says. It says, God's Spirit doesn't make cowards out of us, but it's a Spirit that gives us power and love and self-control. And so as godly leaders, we're not called to have fear or to lead as cowards, but we're to step out and lead with confidence. So I'm going to give you guys real quick 2 keys to leading with confidence. All right? The first thing as a leader to lead with confidence is this. You've got to believe that God's called you. Really. I love Matthew chapter 4, verse 19. Man, it's such a cool verse. All right? Jesus is walking and He calls to His disciples. He says, hey, come, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. Wow. Talk about instilling confidence. Imagine Jesus walking up to you and saying, hey, come follow me. Now, maybe He didn't do it in the physical, but that's exactly what He's done to you as a leader. He said, come follow me and I will make you fishers of men. You see, we've got to lead with a God confidence, but it's created out of a total humble dependence, reliance on God. That Jesus, it's all about you. You're the one who's given me the strength to do this. You see, people will follow somebody who has a confidence. Not an arrogance, but a confidence that's born out of that confidence that God has given us. So first of all, we want to believe that God has called us. Second, we need to believe that God has called those that we are leading. Matthew chapter 28, verse 19, we've all heard it. It says, go and make disciples of all nations. It doesn't say you or you, all of us. So we're all called to lead. We're all called to go and make disciples. So you've got to believe in those that you are leading and instill that in them. Stretch them. Get them out of their comfort zone so that they can lead. And just like Sean Payton looked at that young Garrett Hartley and said, son, you go make that kick because you deserve to be here. Let me look at you and say, hey, guess what? You go and lead because God has called you. You deserve to be here. And you need to look at those that God has called you to lead in the same thing. You need to sit down across some coffee with them one day or on the phone or eating dinner with them and say, hey, God's called you to lead. You go out and do it. So let's go do it. Have that walk in that God confidence that God's called you to lead, and let's instill that in others so that we can continue to develop leaders to reach people and build lives.